Hello and welcome to your weekly psychic forecast for this week commencing Monday the 21st of March 2022. So let's take a look at the week as a whole and then we will go day by day and finish off with a motivational message for the whole week, so please do stay tuned to the end for that. As always, there will be timestamps in the description below so that you can dip back in as you need to throughout the week and have a look at individual days. So let's just begin with the overview for this week. Okay, so cards we have number 11, Strength. We have number 3, the solar plexus chakra. And we have Shine from Within. Okay. So this week is really asking us to have courage, and I mean real courage that comes from within, the courage to stand up for what we believe in, but it's more than that, because on a personal level, we're being asked to be really brave right now and stand out from the crowd, which is something a lot of us, or most of us, probably aren't very comfortable with. You may be the first person in your family, in your community, to do things differently, to live a life that's different in some way, in a new way, leaving behind toxic habits or toxic people. And this is very much your moment to stand up and not just be counted, but to actually shine and be that beacon of light for other people. It's not an easy path to be a trailblazer, but it is an important and a gratifying one. It requires great strength this week, and we are told that we need to work on ourselves too. You may feel yourself wavering or worrying that people won't like you, but the truth is, some people aren't going to like you anyway. Some people aren't going to accept your ideas, so try not to worry about being excluded, outcast, or disapproved of by people that you respect or care about, because that's tough. This is your path, not theirs. You have to live it for you. So take heart and remember that not everyone will like you, and that's okay. More to the point, many other people will actually be inspired by your example and make more of themselves as a result. You can help to inspire people to live happier and more fulfilled lives thanks to your example. So stop playing small. There's none of that allowed this week. Stop trying to appease or please others or appeal to other people by making yourself smaller or denying your truth. So be that person who inspires, who breaks away from the old, restrictive, dogmatic, unhelpful patterns. The solar plexus chakra is actually highlighted this week because that's the one that's going to be taking the lead in our energy system. And you can support that chakra by wearing the color yellow, keeping yellow and golden crystals around, keeping them on your person, in your pocket. Nice crystals to have are tiger's eye, maybe some citrine. And you can also support that chakra by eating yellow colored foods this week. If you're enjoying this video, please do take a moment to like and subscribe. You will have my eternal gratitude if you do so. And let's move on to Monday. Okay, so Monday's cards, we have number 9, the Hermit. We have number 10, Destiny. And we have the Celebration card. I think we saw this one last week as well. They do like to come out in patterns. So Monday's energy is really interesting because it does represent something of a shift after this weekend. And if you remember from last week's reading, I said that some people would literally need to spend the whole weekend under the duvet or in self-care because of this massive shift that's coming in with the full moon on Friday. And it is a timeline split as well, so it's a very, very big energetic shift, and the more sensitive people are really, really feeling that one. Monday, we're going to feel like that's really passing, and there's kind of a sedate feeling of celebration. The energy is certainly more upbeat, and there is this kind of celebratory feel to it, but it's not like crazy, let your hair down kind of energy. It's not party time. It's more like a wake after a funeral. So we know we've been through something, but now we can kind of let off a little bit of steam and feel happy and look to the future in new ways, at the same time retaining the wisdom that nothing's going to be the same again. Everything is going to be very different in the future, and that things are changing and that we are changed as well. So it's a real turning point day. I do feel as well that new options are going to show themselves in our career, perhaps to do with where we choose to live. So house moves might be on the horizon. And I think some people who previously thought that their lives were absolutely fine and dandy are going to wake up and think, actually, maybe I'd like to do something differently. Maybe I would like to make a change. So look out for that. That could be very unexpected. So be ready to support those people. So let's take a look now at Tuesday's cards. So our cards for Tuesday, we have number 3, the Empress. Number 6, the third eye chakra, and pure intention. The third eye chakra has been coming up a lot recently, you might have noticed from my readings. So let's just take a look. Tuesday has a really beautiful and creative energy to it, which is really, really nice. So first off, I want to say that it's a wonderful day for the arts, for creative pursuits. But Tuesday also has a very intuitive, psychic feel to it. And I think it's going to be a very empowered day for manifesting and for creating our new reality. So there's that to bear in mind. There are going to be lots of ideas flying around on Tuesday, and I think the key will be to discern which ones are good ideas and which ones are just fluff, because you could get really bogged down in analysis paralysis or trying to work out which details of ideas are going to work, which ones aren't going to work. You know, sometimes an idea just isn't very good. If it's not very good, shelve it and move on to the next one. That's the advice. Remember, not everyone and not every idea is worth your time, okay? So don't get held up at work or in your daily life today by people who want to tell you all the details of some pie-in-the-sky nonsense that they want to do, which you think is either completely uninteresting to you, or that it's just a waste of time, a project that you just don't want to participate in. You're not required to. Be very clear about what you do and don't want to do, because the universe is listening. You may have to be quite firm with some people as well today, because there's a very dreamy and childlike quality to Tuesday's energy, which means that some people will literally be a bit away with the fairies or talking nonsense, so look out for that. And just to remind you, no is a complete sentence. Okay, so let's move on to Wednesday now. Take a look at Wednesday's cards. We have number 20, renewal. We have 3, heartache and loss. And we have come together. Okay. So Wednesday actually comes in with something of a sedate feeling. This is a day for leaving the past behind, for stepping away from people, habits, places, jobs, thought patterns that just don't serve you or don't resonate with you anymore. It's also a day for coming to terms with recent big changes that you might have been through. So it is all about change. I think many people actually have light bulb moments on Wednesday. You know, they'll have some really good ideas, and others will realize that they need to find a new tribe to vibe with, you know, that the people surrounding them just don't resonate anymore, that they don't belong, and they need to find new friends, new colleagues, new acquaintances. So change isn't always easy, and as we know, it's rarely comfortable, but it is necessary, and Wednesday's energy is really helping that shift along. It may be a good day to book in with a counsellor or a therapist to discuss some old worn-out thought patterns that you've been carrying, some old beliefs that are holding you back, or some old difficult habits that you've got into, thought habits. It's also a day for releasing and reframing past difficult experiences. It's a good day for letting go of trauma. The energy may be a little bit sad on Wednesday, so just be aware of that. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but you may find yourself feeling a little bit wistful or sad for no apparent reason. Try not to worry, because it is an important day of actually letting go so that we can begin again. And this will actually allow us to move in a new and better direction on a personal level. The potential is also there for the wider national and international scene too, but remember, we always lead from within, and as within, so without. So the changes we make on the inside will then unfold outside of us as well. So look inside first. I think the world may start to look quite different after Wednesday as well, so that's going to be interesting to see what transpires there. Spend time with people who listen and understand you. Work on forgiving yourself for past mistakes on Wednesday, for things you aren't proud of. You know, really close the book on those old things that you were ashamed of, embarrassed of, that you did in the past. They don't matter anymore. You know, and just know that it's time to move forwards now without regrets. So let's take a look now at Thursday's cards. We have the Queen of Autumn. We have number 18, Shadow. And we have Ask for Help. Okay. So Thursday actually speaks to me of the heart and heart healing. I'm going to suggest right off the bat that you could do some Reiki healing on your heart chakra, or maybe keep some green crystals nearby, such as malachite, aquamarine, or fuchsite in particular I'm drawn to for you. This is one of those awkward days where you may be distracted at work by matters of the heart. We've all had those days, especially relationships connected to people at work, or with people that you work with. So this could be a current romantic relationship, maybe somebody you're interested in, or just thoughts sort of bubbling up about an ex at odd moments throughout the day. Remember to ask for angelic support if you are struggling today, because there will be some darker aspects of the self to face, some darker aspects of our psyche maybe stepping forwards for us to face and actually look at, so that we can deal with some things, reframe some things there. Possibly some old unhealthy habits as well may resurface on Thursday. They're coming up so that we can have more awareness of them and actually deal with them in healthy ways, or realize that it's time to deal with them and we actually need to seek some help there as well. And I want you to remember that the shadow self is actually our greatest teacher. It's not something to be afraid of, not something to shun or hide. When we hide those parts of ourselves that we're embarrassed of, we kind of try to block them out or bottle them up, we're really not helping ourselves. Those aspects of us can be our greatest teachers, obviously in the right environment with the right support and help. Healing and integration are always the way through, not burying and hiding. So Thursday may well be something of an emotional day. So do remember to stop and think before you act or react. Otherwise, you may end up falling out with people unnecessarily. And remember that about others as well, if they're being a little bit reactionary or funny with you on Thursday. Try to just roll with the punches and wait for them to calm down on Friday. So let's take a look at Friday's cards. We have number 10, the Wheel. We have 11, Balance. And we have Lost and Found. Okay. So the theme for this Friday is change plus wisdom. So change for the sake of change isn't necessarily good. It's not necessarily wise. But Friday's energy may give you a shot at something that you thought you'd actually missed out on. Maybe an opportunity that you were not expecting to get or get again, but are now actually ready for. You're a lot wiser and older than first time around, or the first time you thought you wanted it, and it may be coming back around now, which is really nice when we get these opportunities come back. So there is very much a sense of lost opportunities coming back on Friday, and this could be in love, in work, perhaps related to moving house, making a change that you thought was out of reach or was too late. So pay attention to what comes up. Friday also brings the message that divine timing is always at play in our lives, whether it doesn't matter in what part of our lives. The universe hears everything you ask for. It hears everything, every prayer, every thought, but you won't necessarily get the opportunity or the leg up that you were hoping for if the timing isn't right, or if your energy isn't ready for it yet. So just bear that in mind. It is a very good day for starting again, and you may find yourself energetically in the right place to move forwards with things, so those opportunities actually come back up again, whether it's the relationship, the job, whatever it is. So if an opportunity is presented to you on Friday that you're excited about and something that you actually want, not something that you used to want but you don't really want anymore, act quickly and act with confidence, because that energy is going to be quite fast moving on Friday and you may miss out if you don't take it this time. So get going. Okay, as we say in England, piss or get off the pot. Saturday. Okay, let's take a look at Saturday's cards. We actually have 4 cards for Saturday. 5 of Winter, Balance, which is number 14, number 4, Firm Foundation. I'm trying to hold all these cards. And we have Fairy Spotting. There we go. Here's our 4 cards for Saturday. It's quite noticeable that we have 4 for Saturday, and it is very much a foundational. 4 is a foundational number. I mean, as you can very clearly see, it's beautifully represented in this card, actually. It's the number of the foundation in numerology. It's the number of new beginnings. So I think Saturday is going to be a day where we're very much reconsidering certain parts of our life, but on a very basic level. So basic things like where we live, who we associate with, who our friends are, whether our work life is working for us, whether our, the theme of balance is really coming up on Saturday. But in order to have a balanced life, you really have to get the basics right first. Are you eating enough? Are you eating the right things? Are you drinking enough water? Are your basic needs being met correctly? And if not, then the rest of your life can't possibly be in balance either. So, for example, living constantly in debt is not living in balance. You're constantly beholden to somebody else. Struggling is not being in balance. What can you do to bring more ease into your life to make things easier for yourself? Okay. What small and simple changes can you make to bring more peace into your life? That's very much the lesson on Saturday. And this may literally be as simple as throwing away some rubbish, having a declutter, stepping away from friends that aren't very nice, having a look at your diet, making sure you're eating enough fruits and vegetables, or even going organic. So see what steps you can take moving forwards that will help you to live a life that is more in balance in every possible way, but on a really kind of easy, basic level. Don't overcomplicate things. It's not that kind of energy. So, no matter what happens around you, you want to be steady on your feet, and spiritual practice and meditation can also be a big part of this. So if that's something that's missing from your life, it may be time to actually think about incorporating some form of spiritual practice, meditation practice, yoga, whatever it is that appeals to you. It'd be a good time to think about beginning something if it resonates with you. So see what works for you. Yeah, the reminder with Saturday is that plans you make in the future will need you to be balanced at a very basic level. Okay, and this is particularly important moving forward. The theme of balance is such a very, very important one for this whole decade. We really have to take this seriously now. So like they say, if you're trying to build a house and you haven't laid the foundations properly, well, the house isn't going to stay up for very long. Okay, you're going to have cracks, it's going to have subsidence, or it's going to be an absolute mess. So think about this time now, this Saturday, as actually literally laying the foundations for your new house moving forwards in your life. Go back to basics, see where you can make positive changes to make your life easier and happier. That's the key. Balance should be easy. It should make you happy. Okay. See where you can make those changes, and that will really pay off for the rest of the year. So let's move on to Sunday's cards now. For Sunday, we have the Ace of Autumn. We have number 1, Passion Ignited. And we have Purity. Okay. Now, these are much more fun looking cards. These are much more interesting. Okay. So Sunday actually brings very much an energy of the wind of change. It's another day which is great for new beginnings, new plans, new hobbies, new projects. See what inspires you this Sunday, because you may have found the beginnings of something very lucrative and successful. Okay, it's that kind of day where you can really find something special. Remember that the key is that the new beginning should be something you enjoy and that you find exciting, something that fires you up inside, because if it doesn't, it's probably not the right thing for you to be doing, even if it seems like a good idea or you should do it. Throw should out the window. I hate that word. The reminder comes through very much that we have the right to live in joy, and not just the right. That's the thing that we want to be aiming for, surely. Our life should not be about spending 8 hours a day at some job, which uses up all of our time, all of our energy and enthusiasm, that drains us like a vampire. I really cringe when I hear people tell me that they love their job, because most of the time I know that's not true. There are a few exceptions there, but I think we've been really conditioned to say things like that, to please our boss, to please our employer, or because our expectations are just so bloody low. We say things like, oh, I really love my job, I do. And I'm sat there thinking, no, you don't lie to me. I'm looking at your cards. It might just be that we find that particular employment less tedious, or we were able to find some satisfaction in it, but that doesn't mean we love it. Oh my goodness, you really think you love your job? Okay, ask yourself this. If you won the lottery tomorrow, would you still go back and do it? Because the answer is probably no. If it's no, you don't love it. Okay, you tolerate it. It might be all right, but you don't love it. The message here, it's not just for people who currently have a career as the world defines it. This applies to everyone today. Do what you really love. That is the message coming through. How do you live your life? How can you look at making your life happier? Is it possible that you're just trying to make the best of a bad situation? Could it be different? As that real question comes up, really asking you to look at things, really asking you to question, how could things be different? How could you really set your life on fire in the best possible way? Also pay Pay close attention to what inspires and uplifts you today, because new paths are really going to be showing up for a lot of people as the world goes through a huge shift this month. The old work-life paradigm that we've been stuck in for so long is not going to be around forever, and it's not going to be around for an awful lot longer. So it is very much the time for the energetic trailblazers to start finding new ways to be, new ways to live. So have a think about that. Lastly, we will move on to our motivational message. We have go outside from the fairies. Okay, the message is go outside. I'm beginning to feel like a broken record. I don't know how many times I've said this over the past few weeks. Go outside, go into nature, spend time in nature. But they're really hammering it home. So clearly you're not listening. Or someone's not listening who's watching this video. It may not be you. But please, 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 please. And this will become more apparent as well if you've watched my Ostara reading that I did for the spring equinox. So please check that out. I'll put a link above. So, this has been very much a consistent message for weeks now, but if you can, please go outside into nature as much as possible. Okay, nature is calling you to remember who you really are right now. Okay, there is a call. Remember who you are. You may be hearing it in your meditation. It may be coming up in your dreams. Oh, who am I? I feel like I'm forgetting something, because we are. We need to remember that human beings are part of this living world. You know, we belong here. There may be those who lead us astray and encourage us to put chemicals on our bodies, inside our bodies, to ingest toxins, you know, and food-like items which aren't actually food, but that's not what we're supposed to be doing. The more we can get back to basics, back to simple livings, away from synthetics, from plastics, from artificial things, the better off we are and the happier we are as human beings. You know, we are one at the end of the day, and to be happy, we all need to be happy as well. But this is the way we're supposed to live, much more in harmony, much more in contact, direct contact with nature. So the time is very much coming where humanity is actually going to step away from a lot of the technology that currently controls most of our lives. We just won't need it anymore. It's not going to be a regression, so I don't want you to worry about that. It is a progression, but it's accompanied by a huge leap forwards in our consciousness. It's part of our ascension. It's part of the Great Awakening, part of the ascension of humanity and our spiritual growth as a collective. That's what's coming, and that's why we won't need the technology anymore. It's not that we're going to go backwards and live in ways that may be less pleasant. We're actually going to go forwards in very special ways, which will become apparent as the years go by. Technology is not the future, nature is, okay? And I want you to remember that. Our real, expanded, enlightened human nature is what's coming and what we should be focusing on, not on the ever increasing amounts of technology in our lives. If anything, try to step back from some of that now. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this video. Please do remember to subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, and please do leave a comment if there's something you'd like to share with us all, and have a wonderful week, and I will see you all again soon.